everyone. Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another day of fmtraining.tv, where every day we're doing great FileMaker training. Today is Friday, the end of the week, but I will be working every day this weekend, once again, preparing for the awesome certification training that comes up that starts Monday. It is recorded, so if you have a complete training subscription, a complete bundle, then you will be able to watch it live, or alternately watch the recording. So there is Kyle Williams, who doesn't smile very much. We'll get to him momentarily. I'm going to press the button here. Let's cover the upcoming broadcast schedule. So if you go to fmtraining.tv, the wonderful website that we have, what you can see, I'll move a little bit that way. You can see that we have the live training button right here. It takes data out of FileMaker. So Monday. I got to do it the race. I have to do Monday. Monster Truck Madness. Right. So will be the first beta release of FM Starting Point. We showed a little bit of it yesterday. It's the new Starting Point 22. So it's got the new meomorphism design in it, and it's very, very exciting. And we are busily squashing the first set of bugs before it gets to you. I'm sure it's going to be pretty bug laden, but that's kind of the deal with any software. But you folks get to help us test it and try it out optionally. If you do, that will make me feel very warm and fuzzy about you. So that will be Monday. Then next week we have some other broadcast topics that are going on. It follows up with Jacob Taylor on Friday with a server open Q&A. Now, during that time, so this is all at 1 o'clock. These continue to be free broadcasts. A not free broadcast will be at the certification page. So if you go to fmtraining.tv, you go to FileMaker, the certification training right here. And if you have a complete training bundle from us, which is an annual subscription, sometimes you buy 2 years at a time or 1 year at a time or whatever you want to do, then you're going to get access to this. That's how you get access. You have to have our complete training bundle. And of course, I've had people say, well, I want you to itemize just this training for us, like remove everything else out. So I've done that right here. So if you want to buy just the training by itself, it's $2.99. If you want to buy our training, our complete training package for the year, suspiciously, that's also $2.99. So it is $2.99 no matter how you do that, right? So people are like, well, I like a hamburger, but double the mayonnaise, no onions, no tomatoes, with a pinch of salt and pepper. You can see someone at the restaurant trying to do this and be like, shut up, it's a burger. You get a number one, and you can supersize it or not. That's it, baby. So anyway, yeah, very, very exciting. So we're going to be doing certification training. I sent a reminder for those of you, if you already have our complete bundle and it's current, we've been sending you, and I just sent another one like 5 minutes ago. You need to go to Zoom and register. So Zoom sends you the links and stuff for that, right? So we'll be doing it through Zoom. You'll log in through Zoom. You will not be logging in here on Discord and YouTube in this wonderful area that we have here. We'll be doing it in Zoom where we get a good recording. You'll see my face on the side. And we also will be sending out an email in a little while, kind of a homework assignment. We have about 15, 20-minute videos that you should watch in advance, kind of laying tips and tricks, things like that you want to have for the certification test, but I don't want to waste time on it. Come Monday, we're going to hit the ground running. Your Professor Carlton, doctorate of PhD and FileMaker Astrophysics, right? So that's me. So I'll be there with Calvin Moseyman. He will be my wingman. We will be there flying together in formation, helping everyone out. So we're going to explain, like there's certain things we're going to educate you on, and you'll just kind of remember it because it's kind of weird and obscure, and you'll remember that. But some things are like rote memorization. You're probably going to have, realistically, like 10 little sections of stuff that you're just going to have to memorize. You're like, I know this. I've been doing FileMaker for 22 years, and I'm a professional. Okay? Then that's why you failed the test, right? That happens even to some of my people. It happened to me in FileMaker 7, right? I had one of the top scorers in the world FileMaker 6 certification test, and went to 7 certification test, and I got an F-, and because they completely changed what they did, and they blew up my head. So, yeah, you have to do a little bit of rote memorization, and that's what. So we're going to cover all that along the way, and you'll have the recordings to go back and watch those. So my goal is not to get you to 100% on the test. We'll need more than a week for that. The goal is to move you up about 10 to 15, maybe 20 additional answers that you get correctly, which gets you over the threshold for the pass. We're going for the P for pass, D for done that you say in college. Hey, what'd you get in the class? I got a D, right? And in a lot of classes and a lot of degrees, especially if it's liberal arts, you get a D. It's D for done, right? So, of course, I don't know if you ever wanted a doctor that got D at medical school, be like, oh, just cut off that body part, right? So, yeah, should be fun. Yeah, so you should have an invite in one of your emails. Yeah, so we're set invites out. You go to Zoom to register, and then we're also going to give you the link to go to the website to watch the preview videos. You'll get that probably as soon as I get Kyle going here. I'll go over there and work on that and get that done. That's kind of what I was working on. So, yeah, if you're marked this as spam, then good luck on that, right? I can't help that. By the way, also we all do get some people who are confused. Some of you. Let me give you a hot tip. I know a lot of you like to sign up for every possible like free thing in the world, and then you ignore your email and you quit reusing it, and then you use a new email. And so I have a couple of you that have like 8 or 9 email addresses, and our system can only handle three of you, right? And so when you get to 8 or 9, the system creates different people, and we have no idea that Kyle Williams, shaggydog69.com is Kyle Williams, as well as kyle.williams at Gmail or something, right? So try if you check your other emails, right? And also feel free to email us to support at RC Consulting if you're confused. But if you don't see the invite and you're thinking you should have an invite, email support RC Consulting and maybe let us know in the email. Let us know what email you're using this week. That'd be really helpful. Really appreciate that. So it is Friday. If you have, so one thing along the way, for next week, let me write this up for people. I'm going to start letting you know. If next week, say I say something like, there's a new get function called get winning lotto ticket, okay? And say we talk about that new get function. It's on the certification. It's called get winning lotto ticket. I'm not there to discuss the get winning lotto, talk about how it works, how to use it with neomorphism, how to make it not an abomination, how to make it perform well with 200 users. None of this is about building solutions next week. It's all about the test, right, Kyle Williams? Right, Kyle Williams?
Yep. Yeah, the test has a lot of technical specifications you got to remember. It's not stuff that you use every day, so it's going to be great to be able to review all of that information and refresh our memories.
That will be good. Even Kyle will be there to help make sure I don't screw up too badly. When we get to the part on SQL, I'm just going to skip past it. We don't have the necessary month to teach everyone, at least a month, to be SQL people. So Margaret, are you ready to assume command? We should be good. All right, so Kyle William, we're going to go to full Kyle.
Okay. So today we're going to discuss some updates to the WolfPack. So this is a recent addition. I added a couple updates this morning. So you'll see there's Date Picker version 2.0 and animated loading icon 2.0. So this was just updated today. You'll see WolfPack x7c.zip. So if you downloaded it today, then you'll see that. And that's going to have these updates in there for you. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll install all of these. Let me move this off the screen. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the WolfPack is, it's a collection of all kinds of add-ons for the entire developer community has been contributing to this. I currently have 8 of them in here. So recently I added 7 more of them, and that's what today is about, is to show you what these new add-ons are that we added and kind of show you how to install them and what they can do, how they can help you. So I'm going to go ahead and install these. And you see it's got a whole bunch here. It's going to just go ahead and install them all. And so you'll see how this works. So it's just going to go through the list. It's going to install each of them. You'll get a bunch of open folders here. And once it's all done, it should restart FileMaker. And then, yeah, you can already see what it looks like. So it's looping through and it's opening up all the add-on source files, and then it's installing all the add-ons from those source files. So just go through and close all these real quick. And now it says it's successfully installed. FileMaker will now be closed. So then you just say OK. Okay, and then we're going to reopen them. So we're going to open up FileMaker and we'll install them into our app. So I just created a new app that just has one table. So go ahead and show you that. So we just have one table with 5 fields. There's no records yet. And There's no scripts, so this is all just a fresh app. Nothing's in it. So I'm going to enlarge this, kind of cover up all that desktop clutter there. Okay, so then you're going to want to go into the sidebar here in layout mode and go down here to the plus sign. And there's going to be a whole bunch of add-ons. A lot of this I've had for a while. So if we scroll down, we'll find one of these new ones. Sorry, I collect add-ons. So here's one of the new ones. These are, this has 6 of them here, and I think there's one more in another section. Oh, there's the color picker, I think. Okay, so we'll start with the animated loading icon, and we'll choose that. And here we have it in the side, and I'm just going to drag it onto the layout. So I think there's, okay, so there's just the one checkbox. I'm not sure why that's attached to that file. Anyhow, this does have a couple custom functions in it. So if I go to custom functions, you'll see there's 2 animated icons. So one is not customizable. It's just a GIF file that's inside the custom function. And so you can see this is what the GIF file looks like. So we can't really resize that. We can't change the color of it. It just kind of is what it is. So I wanted to do something a little better than that. So I like that, but I wanted to do something a little better. So if you go into the layout mode and just change this. So we have a few parameters here. I added a couple this morning to just kind of make it more flexible. So we'll say our background is white. So we can actually say white. We can also use £FFF. So our dot color, what do we want our dot colors to be? So we'll just say blue. And our dot size, I'm just going to leave the rest of this blank, and it should work just by using the default values. And okay, so I got to adjust the default values. So I do have some examples here. So I'm going to just pull up one of the examples, and it's inside the custom function. So this will just help you get started a little quicker. Because it's really hard figuring out what values to put in these. And I think, oh, it's the delay. The delay I didn't have a, so this kind of needs a, if it's empty, use 1. So I didn't have a default value on my delay. Sets a brand new parameter. Just added, so I will update that for the next version. Okay, so we'll say okay. Come over here. And I am just going to paste this in here. So again, FFF is white. And this is actually a blue color. And then HTML custom, just so you can see what all these are, what they mean. So we have our dot size is 3. Our radius is 13. That's this circle of our, that's a circle in which they animate around. Delay, that has to do with the speed of the trailing dots. So how fast do those dots appear? This is a 1/10 of a second. Another dot will appear every 1/10 of a second as it's circling around. So that's what that means. So I'm just going to go over here. We'll comment that out and say okay. And let's see what that looks like. So you can see this pretty much matches what the GIF looked like. So now we can play around with this too also. If we wanted to play around with like a bigger radius, say I wanted this to be 18, and so we'll use a slightly bigger dot size because we're using a bigger radius. Okay. Oh, and sometimes you got to play around with it to get everything configured just right, to get the size just right. And see, that looks kind of crazy. So, yeah, I'm trying to remember if I want to. Let's try 16 and see what that looks like. I might need to adjust this a little bit to get this working. Not sure. I'm going to try one of my other pre-configured formulas here so we can see what the difference is. So this one I did get working. That's 316. So that could work as well. So 316 worked on the other one. So let's just try that 316. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so we kind of want to see what else we can do with this. So for that, let's bring in another add-on. So you'll notice I did a color picker in there. I don't know if that's the new one that I just installed. Oh, okay. Well, this is a new one, that version 1.0. Okay, so that should be the newest one, and we'll bring that in here. So this also works on Windows now. Now that we got my FileMaker 19 and Windows is using the Edge, this actually does work. This part on Windows is a little funky, but it does work. So you just got to play around with it and get used to it. But yeah, on the Mac, that's really cool. You can also change this too if you wanted to. So like CCC should be a gray color. Oh, I got to do 6 CCC. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So now we get the gray color that we were expecting. So it does represent whatever's in this field. So if you change it in the field, it'll show, or you can change it up here and you'll see the change of the color. So I'm going to do something really fun here. Let me go into here, and we're going to change this formula, and we're going to change this and use the color picker instead. So if I go to color picker add-on, CGColor, so it's a global field. That's what CG represents. Okay. And then we go back here and we change this color. So now we can change this icon to whatever color we want. So it's kind of fun, merging two add-ons together.
That's cool. We do have a real quick question. How do you convert HTML to RGB? FileMaker uses RGB.
So FileMaker uses RGB. This web viewer will actually, this will use any kind of CSS color format, whether it's hex or there's so many. It's HSL, RGB, and just CSS colors will all work in the JavaScript here. So you can change this color to whatever you want. So this is kind of the back side of the code. And really, it's just this color here is your background color. So any CSS acceptable color will work there, as well as the dot color here. And this actually only works with the hex colors. You can't really do an RGB. Well, I haven't tried doing blue. Yeah, it didn't like that. Maybe if I put some quotes around it. Yeah, it didn't like it. I tried. So sometimes you play around with these things because it is web-based. You think that would work. If I look in here, pretty simple. Color. So it's using this to update the color value from the field. So value equals color. Yeah, I think that would work for any CSS color, but so yeah, that's what the code looks like on that.
Does the color picker allow multiple on one layout?
Oh yeah. So for that, we actually need to go into here and let me do color create, and then let's say to create it. And this is based on the table. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just do copy and paste. And since that web viewer is based on this color, I'm going to paste again. And so we'll put these two together. And here I'm going to remap these to my new fields that I just made. So table color, table color. Okay. And I don't think there's anything else that I needed to do. script trigger. Let me check script trigger, make sure there's nothing there. Yeah, okay, so I am using the name of the field, so field color source. So, okay, so we're going to need to update this because it likely renamed this color 1 and color 2. So, yep, if we go up here, okay, so field color 3, and this one's going to have the field color 2. So this trigger does need to be updated in order to remap these. So it's a good thing we're doing this, and you can kind of see how it's done. So field color, I want to say this was 2. 2, yeah, space 2. So we'll say okay, okay. And then grouped objects, you got to select them multiple times. So select, we'll go down here, and this one is mapped to 3. And it'll figure out the field based on this object name. So it's going to evaluate the object to get the field name in order to map it for us. So if we remap this, we can remap it to any field we want at this point because it's mapped to the object, not the field name. So I was expecting that to update the field. Is the trigger working? Okay, so I gotta figure out what happened there. This is always fun. Color picker, got a few folders in here. Requirement, CGColor add-on. Okay, so this should be setting the field by name. All right, so I need to update that. So that needs to be dynamically setting the field. So really this should be set field by name, and then the parameters, field, so that's the value is 1. And I may need to update the JSON parameter that's passed. So set field by name. Oh, yeah, so I can see the color I changed to, it updated the object over here. When I put in CCC, it updated this field, that color instead. So there's definitely a disconnect there. And I believe it's right here. CGColor parameters, set colors, group parameter, web viewer, set user data, function name, object name, web viewer. Okay, so we do need to do, I need to work on updating that. So notice this has the name web viewer, and this now has web viewer 2. So when I updated the field over here, it's communicating with this one. So I'm gonna need to work on updating this again, because again, this doesn't have the name WebViewer, it has a name WebViewer 3, and that's why that field isn't working with that. So let me work on this and I'll get you another update. Apologize, that didn't work as well as I expected. So
Okay,
I'm just gonna, yeah, so it can work. It just has to be mapped out, and it looks like I need to update the JSON parameter to be able to pass the field name back and forth. Make sure we get all that information. So, all right, I'm gonna move this up and move those out of the way so we can make room for more add-ons, because we still have another 4 more to go. Okay, so let me go back to the WolfPack here and see view, open recent, WolfPack. Okay, and it's of course howling in my ears. It has this sound effect when you open it every time. Okay, so here we go. All right, so now we got the checkboxes. This way I have a checklist of all the ones so I don't forget any. So we'll go down here, and apologize, I have too many add-ons. Good problem to have. All right, so choose, And it chose the other color picker. That's annoying. Uninstall. So sometimes you have to actually select a few of these in order for them to allow you to select the correct one. It's a bug I hope they fix soon. All right, so, and again, I'm just selecting and it's trying to select multiple. Now it's done selecting multiple, so I don't know what that is. So I'm just going to choose that, and luckily this time it gave us the correct one. All right, so with this, I wasn't sure which checkbox you might want on any given layout. There's a lot of different options here. I figured this way it's one add-on, you can drag it on, you can ungroup it, select what you want, so you can go ungroup. And if all you want is just a little box somewhere, you can pull that out and use that. And you can map it to your field. If you wanted a collection of days or any of these other options here, you can easily separate them out. So if I go back into browse mode now, so when I was testing, it actually created a duplicate table. There it is, duplicate table. I don't know why I did that. So there is only one globals table in that add-on. So again, Claris is still experimenting and it's still in beta. But it's going to be great when everything works correctly. So if I go into here, I can, see it's using globals 2, and it should not be, because there was no globals 2 in the original source file. So that's what broke it. So if I go into here, hopefully they fix that problem. Okay. I'm just going to double check this also real quick. Field name, that's using the correct field. Correct. Okay. So that all looks good. Now it's working. Okay. So this and this are on the same field now, and this is on the same field. So this actually needs to be tied into a script in order to update those checkboxes. So anyhow, there's regular checkboxes, which I like. I also added these in here as well. So if you like the color of and the style of this, and you like the X in there, or if you like the checkbox, there's a couple options there. And of course, we have our radio buttons over here as well. So these are native to FileMaker checkboxes and radio buttons. And then down here we have different kind of checkboxes and radio buttons. So this is actually a button bar, and it's running a script. And these do update as you change the value here. And it's updating a list. I don't know if it's tied to this. Apparently it's not tied to that field anymore. So that seems to be tied to these up here. And these are operating somewhere else. But yeah, so there are the radio buttons. You can see I checked Wednesday, and Wednesday got updated everywhere, Saturday everywhere. And over here I can select multiple, and I can select multiple over here. So this side works just like the checkboxes above it, and this side works just like the radio buttons above it. So sometimes it's nice to have all your days of the week selectable like this. If you want it to be a radio button or a checkbox style, you can do that. And I did a big, long presentation about checkboxes, which I go into depth on all the scripts and everything. So if you want to learn more about that one, you can check out the other videos. So because this is a lot, I'm going to remove this. So let's just cut that out. Oh, FileMaker crashed. Come on, reopen.
FileMaker
That's fine.
decided it's done with life.
It crashed when I tried to delete everything and save the layout.
Is this your new MacBook, Kyle?
No, this is not the new MacBook. This is an iMac, 2019 iMac.
Okay. And then
So,
which icons did you use for the checkbox radio boxes? Do you remember?
which icon? Oh, which icon set?
Yes.
Okay, so pull that back out. So this is the native FileMaker stuff. So these icons are actually defined right here. So they only give us check and X. Those are our only options there. The styling, I think I did some of it by editing the CSS to get the look. And also you can modify a lot of it right here. So I played around a lot with it to get this look, which I really liked. And then, of course, these are all button bars. These are button bars. So they're individual, but they all work together. And so there's a script behind the scenes that allows it all to work together. So again, check out the other video. I went into heavy detail on the script and how it works. Thanks, David. Okay, so, oh, I forgot I was going to clear that off again. And yeah, this is HTML, this little button slider over here. I don't think I pointed that out, but that's actually based on a custom function that I added in here. So there's custom function and several parameters there. So you can change the color, you can change the size, you can change what field it's connected to, all that good stuff right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove that to clear some space. And then we'll get into our next one. And our WolfPack disappeared. Okay, because everything crashed. Okay, so resend, we'll get our list back up so we don't miss any. And it's howling in my ear again. Okay. Oh, not go to record. Okay, so there we go. Okay. So let's go down the list. We got the animator, we get the checkbox, color picker, and next we have the date add-on. So let's get our date picker going. I do have one here, but that's the old one. It doesn't say 2.0. So I've had several different versions of it. So this one, there we go, version 2.0. That's the one we want. And it selected the correct one this time. Yay. Okay, so date field. Let's go back into browse mode. And we see here we have this nice date selector. I can toggle through the months. You can see it shows the active date, January 7th. You go down here, it still highlights January 7th. Plus we have a today button here. I can select the today. I don't know why that didn't choose today. Okay, so apparently I got to fix the today button. That was weird. So yeah, so December 31st, say January 20th. So yes, that's working. I'm going to try the today button again. I don't know why it's choosing that day. Thought I tested all this, sorry. Okay, so let's debug and we'll see if we can figure this out real quick. It's always fun debugging. So here we have today. Oh, this is showing the old script. Okay, so apparently my add-ons got confused somewhere along the way. This, I'd updated all of this morning and it's not showing me the updated script. That's what's going on because I troubleshooted all this and there's actually a fourth script it's not showing. So that's weird that it only did half the update. So I did also send a zip file earlier to Margs with this. And so here, oh, so I was going to demonstrate that you can put in a bunch of dates in there. So like there's, let me go into script view. So here's the four scripts that are supposed to show up. So I'm not sure what went wrong with the add-on update, but I'll go ahead and share these files as well with you. This has all the updated calculations, and there's a validate before saving, and that's where it's going to check the date. And you can put in here holidays. So here I put in New Year's Day. I put in Easter's date, the Monday after Easter. So just kind of show +1. Because Easter's always on a Sunday, and then date of Thanksgiving, and I figured I'd throw in Black Friday in there, and then so this is the Monday after Thanksgiving in case you have an extended weekend and you want to see how to calculate that. I have another custom function called date first of week, which will give you the Sunday of any week, And so basically it's looking at Thanksgiving plus 7 days, and then it's finding the start of that week, which is Sunday, and then adding one to get the Monday. So that's how that function is working. And then I have Christmas Eve in here, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day of the next year. So because those days are often close together and they're going to be on the same calendar for selection, I figured I'd include both of those. So those are just some defaults that I threw in here. You can take them or leave them. It's all good. And right here is where it was giving me the error for current date. So I just wanted to demonstrate that you can put any date in here you want. So if I say current date +1, so if I select tomorrow, it'll give me the error instead of today. So I'm going to save. And then here it's going to check to see if any of the holidays are selected. And if the holiday is selected, it'll beep at them, and it'll give them a message saying that it's a holiday. Please choose another date. And if it's one of your other dates from the list of other invalid dates, it's going to then give you a slightly different message saying that it's an invalid date. It's not allowed. Please select another date. And if it passes these tests, then it's going to go down here, exit the script with the number 1. And what that's going to mean is that it is a valid date. Go ahead and continue to save. And so it'll bring us back here. So you can see here it's validating. And when it comes back, it's going to get the script result to determine if it's a valid date or not. And if it's a valid date, then we're going to go ahead and update the field value. If it's not a valid date, then we're going to revert it back to the original. So we stored the original in a global variable. Therefore, we're able to paste that original date back into the field. And then if it is a valid date, then you might as well close the popover. If it's not a valid date, then maybe we want to leave it open for the user to go ahead and select a different date. So that's where that's handled. At the very end, we want to close. We want to clear all the globals, and that's done on an on-close popover script trigger. So that's how that works. And now that I changed it to the 8th, I should be able to select today's date. And just to make sure today is working, there it's working. So this, I did fix the bugs. I found that bug this morning and I fixed it. So that's in the update. And I will try again to get this updated in the WolfPack. Until then, I think Margs might have a URL to, or bit.ly link to the zip file I passed to her this morning.
I didn't get it prepared because I assumed that you had sounded like you'd had it updated, like you sent Zane.
Yeah, it says 2.0. It says 2.0. And if I go into this mode and I go to customize, it shows that it's in there. And if I export filled contents, maybe all you have to do is export the filled contents. And then we'll save that to the desktop right here. And this has all the scripts. So I'm not sure why it didn't install all of that. So, okay, so it is in the, this is up to date.
It is up to date.
Yeah, so
okay.
We're all good. You
But
may have
not...
to export the source file.
Was it already
right
installed
there.
maybe, and so it wouldn't override?
That could be it. It could be that I already had it installed and it was an older version installed and it was trying to overwrite and it got confused when it was installing it. That's entirely possible. So it might install correctly for everyone else. If it doesn't, just go ahead and export the filled contents right here from this layout. How did I get here? So how did I get there? I selected on this icon in the top left and I went to the date picker, went down here to the button that says customize. Sorry, I did that too fast. So there's a customize button, and that's where you're going to find the source file right here.
Oh, Ruben has an interesting problem. I'm curious just to see if you can solve it. Date picker is not working over here, probably because of the day month in Europe instead of month and date in US. So
okay, so it is this designed for US dates, but it should be using your FileMaker setting for the date. Again, that's kind of a Nick question. I only work with US dates, so, Yeah, so we're using get current date, and it's doing FileMaker functions. So I don't know. Yeah, get current data. It's using all of FileMaker's functions, so it should work, I think, theoretically. But I don't know if there's a setting in file options or preferences. I know there's text and there's different languages. Use current system settings. Maybe in system settings you can change it there. I'm not sure, but I'm sure Nick could probably answer that question. We'll have to ask him again. Yeah, we can dive into that later.
Okay, now we can move on.
Yes. So let me close the date picker. So we've gone through that now. I'm going to go back here and we'll get our list back. So next we have the field with the animated placeholder. So let's close that. I need to get back into FileMaker here. Did I close? I must have closed the window. Recent and updated add-ons. Okay. Well, that's the date picker. Let me go to the actual file. Okay. Now that we're all situated again, okay, so we got our date field. Let's move that over here out of the way, make some room. And we wanted the animated placeholder widget. So we go down here and, okay. So animated placeholder version 1 by Kyle and Neil Jensen. Say choose. And, yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things to note here. What we have here is we have this right here, which is going to be on top, and this has to be demo field. If you change that, it's not going to work. This using a global variable, and also we need to go into the script triggers if we wanted to map this. And actually, no, it doesn't look like we got to map it there. Okay, so this is why we have the checklist. If I go into the WolfPack here, we have our animated placeholder, and there's a whole pre-flight step-by-step. So it says drag and drop on your layout, go to layout mode, adjust the label and field parameters in the JSON. So this is the hide. I need to update that to specify it's a hide calculation. And it should show it here. There we go. Okay, so it's in this label itself. It does a hide calculation. And if I pull this over just a little bit, we can get to our button. So right here is where you're going to want to specify what field you're mapping it to. So you can map this to any field. So let's just try this out. And I offset this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so a favorite thing. So when you go into it, it has a nice, cool little animation. So this is your label, where I'm going to just shift this over to the right a little bit, so it's not right against the side of the box. And there we go. So that's really cool to be able to do that. And also, if I type something in there and you exit it, it's going to save what that is. When you go back into it, it's going to say favorite thing was, and it'll tell you what it was. So when you're modifying it, you already know what it was, and it kind of helps clue you in on what you need to change it to. So depending on the topic, something else, question mark. And it shows you what the field is. So if you forget what that field represents, it's a favorite thing. You go back into it, it's something else. So pretty cool. And let's go ahead and map it to a field since we got some. So just so we can show this how this all works. So we go table, and I'm just going to go to name first. And we don't need to change it there. We just need to change it right here. And so we can say name first. And here we're going to change this to first name. So that way we're updating our label. And then we're mapping it to the correct field we want. There are some other adjustments here if you want to play around with that. Okay. And now it's still showing what it was. Okay, so let me figure out what I did wrong. Name field. To adjust the label name and the attribute, select the label and edit the hide formula. We did that. To merge variable name over the field should match the field name. Okay, so you do need to update this to the field name. So name first, just so you can see it. There you go. It's a little hard when they're overlapping to see that. There we go. Now we can see first name was. We can get that animation working again. And now you can type in, well, first name, isn't it? It's not full name. But yeah. And there you go. So that's how that works. Yeah, I really like that animation. That's something that Neil came up with, and I helped him create an add-on for that. So pretty cool. Let's go back over here. We had animated placeholder. So next is a 5-star widget. So let's go into here and we'll scroll down and 5-star rating. Choose that. And it did the color picker again. Darn it. Okay, so again, sometimes it's a little buggy. Nothing I can do about it. So let's try that again. There we go. I like it when it works. So I put a little note in here to use this widget, remap the field below to the field you want. So remap it there. And we're using the object's name to link it to the field. So that should be all you need to update. Let's go ahead and go back into browse mode. And so you can kind of see if I want 2 stars, I can do 2, 3, I can do 3. If I change my mind and don't want anything in there, I can just hit that 3 again, and it'll change it. If I go to 5, it's going to do all 5. If I go down, you can see it reduces. I can go down to 1. I can go up again. So kind of handy. It's a star widget. You don't need to expose the field, but this just shows you that it's working. Once you know it's working, then you can go ahead and remove the field. So let's go ahead and try remapping this to another field. See if there's any issues. So we did first name last time, so I'll just do name last because it's a text field. Should work. And there it is. So even though this is a new field, it was that easy to update it and remap it to the new field. All I had to do is change this field. So because it uses the object name, you do actually need to have this object on your layout. So what you could do is you can just move this, let me ungroup. Ungroup. So if you didn't want this on the field, you can either change the hide calculation to 1 on this. So I could change it to 1 and then it wouldn't be seen. Another thing I can do optionally is to just drag it off the layout and then go back in find mode and everything still works. So a couple ways you can deal with that. Obviously we don't need that label anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and just regroup these, or maybe I'll put it up here. Range group. Okay, so we'll move that off to the side so we still have it. And let's see, what do we have next? Master portal search engine. All right, so actually I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of these. So because usually the portal search engine I like to put on the left side. And we're going to scroll down. Oh, went too far. Here we go. I'm noticing that the 2.0 add-on is still in here. And when it's installed, it shouldn't be in here anymore. So I think it installed the wrong one. That's why we didn't get the fields. I think that's what happened. Because once it's installed, it will disappear from this list here. So we can play around with that in a moment. So I bet that's all it did. It just installed the wrong date picker. Okay, so usually when I put this on a layout, I do something like that, and we'll just make this a little bit more presentable. So this should expand with the layout, or if it doesn't, you can select that to make it automatically grow. And we're going to throw some fields on here, and we'll just do name first and last. We'll exit out, and well, that'll work fine for the first name. Okay, so one more thing we got to do first before we can utilize this is, notice this uses the global table, but we don't want to do that. We want to use our current table because it is a master portal. And since there's no way for me to really map that as you drag and drop it onto the layout, we kind of got to set that up right here. So here we're not going to use the globals. We're going to go to table and use first. Maybe we'll do full, name full. All right, so we'll do name full and hopefully see if the calculation works. So name full. There we go. So we'll fix that. And name last, gotta get rid of the quote. Okay. There, that should work. So that way the name shows up when I change things. There we go. Okay, so we'll say new record, and we'll say Carlton, and new record. So in addition to here, I also have some extra controls here to add and remove records or show all records or filter options that I didn't build yet. It's just going to do a little contact developer message. And I don't know why it's adding the field that wasn't in the source file. But it's just supposed to be a comment saying it's not done yet. So if you don't want the filters, I suggest just remove that and make this a little bit smaller. So you can customize this however you want. If you want to add filter options, there's a button already there ready to go, and you can just have that open up a card window with all of your filters. So filters are often different with every app, so that's why I didn't finish that out with anything. You probably want to customize that for your own app. So I'm going to go ahead and use this so the add button works. And we'll say enter. And oftentimes people do this. You can put a trigger catch in there to make it exit the field when you hit enter if you want. So you don't have that problem that I was just having. All right, so I'll throw my wife's name in here. She'll like that. Okay, so now we want to just see if this works. So if I type Carlton or Carl, that works. Angela works. So you can see it works really, really fast. And then there's a clear button, which shows everything. Also, there's an option to do show all. And that way you don't lose your search and you still show everything. So just a couple different options. And I believe if you click here, it'll take you to the field as well. So that's how all that works. All right. So it looks like we have a little bit of time, and we can just, I wanted to try to see if the other add-on that's still in this list would solve the problem. Because sometimes you get so many of the same add-on in here. Even though I selected it, sometimes it'll select whatever's first in the list instead of what you actually want. So the way to handle that is you just click a bunch of stuff, then click what you want, and then say choose. So now we should have another date picker. So you can see here's the other one we had. Here's a new one we have. Let's try it out and see if this works. So now if I say today, again, I had that script in there to not allow today's date to work. And I think it's confused because there's too many scripts. Because I didn't uninstall the other one. I think, yeah. So it renamed all the scripts to Form 2. I think that broke something, just having too many add-ons. Let's go ahead and create a new one. We'll try this without all the extra stuff.
While you are doing that, I have questions for you.
Sure.
The date picker is suddenly now working for Ruben, so that happened. The portal search.
It's not working fine. Nice.
The Agent Chevy, the portal search add-on. Is it using the perform find or list of? Is there any performance consideration?
Sorry, I was picking this. Is that in the chat here? Okay. The portal search add-on, is it using perform find? I believe it's doing the quick search. It's utilizing the quick search feature in FileMaker.
And if you try to do too much, will it chunk the crap out of your file? I assume what the second question translates
okay,
to.
So yeah, let's go back to the other file. So yeah, this is working, and it should error if I do today's date because of that other script. So that's all working as expected. It has. Okay, so yeah, it was confused because I had the other add-on already in there. And the first time I accidentally selected the wrong add-on, or it did, I don't know.
Well,
but that's
what
what happened, so now it's working. Now that I have a clean file with nothing in it, it works. So the add-on does work. I just have too many add-ons. I've been doing this too long. All right, so let's go back to the other file. So file, recent add-ons presentation. So here, the way this works, as I'm searching, there's a script trigger in here. So lots of different objects. I gotta slowly get into that. Okay. So there's an on script trigger, passes some JSON. What does it pass? So, wow, I gotta clean that up. So this is all it's looking at. Enter, commit, return commit, tab commit. I had a bunch of other stuff in there. So I apparently need to clean that JSON up. I haven't looked at it in probably a year. So, okay. So if we go up here, we have, so master search. I'm all thinking about the date picker. So perform quick find. So right there, you can see perform quick find. It already kind of clues you in on how it works. So if the parameter is clear, we're going to go ahead and clear the search field. And apparently I have 3 global tables now. All right. So show all records. If it's empty, show all records. And then go to field. See, I seem to have jumped right past it. There it is. Perform quick find on that field. So here you're going to want to be very careful about what you include in your quick find. So oftentimes these will have this checkbox selected, include field in quick find. If you want to see what already has, where was it? Objects, no, guides, show, here we go, show, and then quick find right here. So if you go to the view menu, you go to show, and you go over here, there's a whole bunch of settings, and you turn on quick find, and it's going to put this little magnifying glass in the corner. If it's green, it's going to be the current table. If it's yellow, it's going to be a foreign table or something that can't be quick searched. So I think unsorted calculations are yellow. I can't remember summary fields. But yeah, green is your current table. Orange means it could be trouble. It could slow it down. But usually I go through here and I just turn all these off. Turn them all off. They're trouble. You want to be able to control what does that. So how do you control it? You can go over here. You can create a global field here, and you can, or better yet, let's make this real easy. There's some shortcut keys, especially if I can remember what the keys are. Okay, I thought it was Control-Shift-M. Insert, merge field. Where's merge field? Yeah, Alt, Command-M. Okay. Oh, yeah, I did it the first time. I specified field. Okay, so what field you want to include in it, you can do that. and then copy. And so you can do this, and you can say first name, last name. I could even add full name in there. The name full. So here you can control all the things that have your quick find in one easy spot. If I go back into layout mode and I search, it still works because it's searching this right here. It's searching all these merge variables right here. You can see the little magnifying glass in the corner. That tells you can search on this label. So it's not even a field. And then this label can be put off the side of the screen, so that way it's not buried under other objects. You can easily find it. And you can also say, my quick find fields, and there you go. So you can have a list of them. And sometimes I'll color this, give it that, and then just so it shows up a little better on this grayed out area. And you can change color. You can make that a little more bold. So that I can easily recognize. I can find it. I can say, these are all my quick find fields. I don't know why that's there. Okay, so, and just to verify this still works. So yeah, it still works. So yeah, it is only using that one label now. And it's off the side of the field. I can easily find it. I can see all of the fields I'm currently including in my quick find. You never want to do unsort calculations or summary fields here. So be very careful of that, because that can kill your performance. That's the one warning I have for you with quick finds. Keep it simple. Work with static data. Yep.
I have one quick question for you. It might take like another 10 minutes, but I think it might be interesting.
Okay.
My previous comment was on animated field. I'd love to see a walkthrough of how it works. I was able to get it work. I just don't know why.
Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and head back into that. I'm going to start with our cleaner file here. So I'm going to go into Untitled here. Maybe, yeah, we don't need any of this stuff. I can just uninstall the add-on to remove the scripts. So I'm just going to uninstall that. There's gone. I'll remove that. Okay. So now we want to go back to our animated text field, and just to make sure that we don't have this multi-select bug going on. Okay. Animated placeholder, choose. So we're going to drag that onto the field, and it should work as is. So you select into it, it works. So how does this work? It works with the script trigger right here. So it has the script trigger, and that tells it, on object enter to animate, and that's going to cause that placeholder to animate. And you can control how long it takes to animate. That's 250 milliseconds. So it says duration milliseconds. And then there's an on object exit, which will do another, it'll close things up. So when you exit, it does that. So that's the on exit. And okay, so how does this work again? Let's go ahead and dive into this. RCC is my favorite thing. All right. Okay, so we're committing the records. Animated percent to 0, refresh window. Oh, it's exiting. Okay. On enter, it's going to go into the layout with setting the animation on. Then we're going to set the duration based on the parameter, which is 250 milliseconds. We have our timer, a log, okay. Install timer on timer script. So that's going to repeat every thousandth of a second there. And then go to the object. Yeah, so yeah, that's going by milliseconds. It's updating it every millisecond to provide it the animation. And then time difference. So yeah, this is all about animating and refreshing. So it's running the script very, very quickly to get that animation to work. So that's how that part works. All right, so in this, if we map it to a different field, so we go to untitled, and I'm just going to go down here, say first name, and then here we're going to have to change this again. So let me put that up to where we can actually see what I'm typing. So see this field right here, this tells you what to type. So you basically just copy whatever that field shows. So I'm going to say name first. Then I'm going to just drag this back down into place, try to align the text on the left side. So that way the placeholder is all the way on the left side. Another thing I need to do is go over to the hide object win, and this formula we need to edit. So we need to edit this. So we have untitled, name first. And what do we want this to be called? We want it to be called first name. And again, a lot of this customizable stuff. Play around with colors if you want, RGBs and all that. Start and end colors, different sizes. A lot of customizations there. So we go into here, we can now see that it says first name. I go into it, it says first name. Well, and then I'm just going to select out of it. If I go back into it, there it's working. So that's how it works.
Stu, did that answer your question? He's typing, so I assume. Is the animation with the web viewer?
No, this is actually native in FileMaker. This is a label. It's modifying this label to have the label come down here. So it's transitioning the label and how it looks, its appearance, as it's animating. So if we go into here, we have this animate by time duration, and it's going to use the animation right here, and that's what's going to give us that animation. And then it's going to update it here, and what's changing the look of it is actually in the hide parameter. So this just saying update, 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 and it's just returning things as normal. So all of the animation changes are happening right here. So we have our start size and what size we want it to end up as. And then we have our different colors. So our start color, this is the color where it's starting, the color where it's ending. I don't exactly know what the 1.6 is offhand. So it's one of the parameters here. It's in its custom function. So all of this powers its custom function, prefix, suffix. So when we dive into the custom function, that'll probably give us the answers we're looking for. And that is this function here. So this is kind of a lot to take in here. Debug, operating system, operating size, field name, variable name. So I haven't really looked all this over, but animated percent, so it's a recurring function. Yeah, gradient value. So it's using another custom function for gradient value, and that's what gives us the various colors along the way between the start and end colors. So yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and this function is what's driving it all. So I hope that answers some questions.
Did you see the one about the hide function?
Yeah, this is a lot.
Real quick.
Okay, let me look here.
Is the hide function getting triggered repeatedly by the timer?
Not sure about the hide function. I believe it's calling the animate label over and over and over and over. So the hide function tells this what to do. A lot of good questions. I wish Neil was here to answer all these, because like you, I'm looking at this trying to figure out how he did it. So label. This is calling this function. Whether or not it's calling it over and over and over, that's actually done by the trigger, the script. So if we go back to the script, we can look at this animate by time, install script trigger. This is going to do the repeating call over and over and over. So on timer refresh is the script is calling with this parameter, with that timestamp. So every millisecond it's going to repeat. So this is saying repeat it every millisecond. And then we go over here on timer refresh. So it's looking at the timer, deciding when it's going to stop or not, and it's going to keep going. Animation percent of 1 install timer. Okay, so it has this global variable that it's going to keep updating every millisecond. And when the time runs out, it's going to say it's done. And then install timer script with no parameters says I'm clearing that timer. So the timer is no longer active. And apparently it has an escape here as well with the character 5. I can't remember what 5 is. Oh, that's active modifier key. I have to look up what that modifier key was in order to figure that out. I don't have that memorized, sorry. I do have some modifier keys memorized, but you can go to Claris and say modifier keys, and right here it'll explain it. So we can see here, modifier key is actually 4 plus 1. So it's using those two keys together. So that's what 5 would be. So if it was 4, it would just be this one key. If it's 5, it's Shift plus Control on either operating system. So that's how that function works. So it's saying if those two buttons are pressed together, then exit the script. Don't run it anymore. So, yep, I think that answers it.
We're good.
It does look like it's changing position. That's because the script keeps updating it. And with that calculation, and because it's global variable here, because it's global variable, it all ties together with the script to create that animated effect. So really cool trick. He's a genius. That's Neil Jensen. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Kyle. I think this is awesome. These are all fantastic. Again, you can all...
Yeah, it's not a global field, it's a local field. And local fields will work as long as something is running. As long as your script is running, the local variable will show. And in this case, the script is continually running every millisecond, so it's continuing to show the update. So, yep. Answers Ruben's question there. Centered vertically to align. Yeah, it's really cool to figure out the magic of it. You got to look at his custom function. This does all the animation right here. I'll let you research that in your own time. We don't have time right now.
It's intensely elaborate. Okay. Hopefully everyone's question was mostly answered, or at least they know where to go looking now officially if they haven't been answered yet. Thank you very much, Kyle. This is awesome. Seriously, they're all fantastic. Again, I just resent out the link. Go download WolfPack. It's got these 8 amazing add-ons, and it's got like a whole other slew. So, and it's for free because hey,
can't be free. And hopefully everybody in the community helps to contribute to that, and we keep that building up, and more add-ons helps everybody in the community out. So share, everything's free.
Yep. No, thank you very much. We will all see you Monday. And a quick reminder, people who want it, go sign up for the certification test week of wonder.
Yes.
It's gonna be stressful, but
next week's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be fun. All right. Y'all have a lovely day, everyone. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
up here who maybe a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.